Be proud, Joe Goat. You're something. You know, I'm not gonna say strong, but you're something. So here's the deal, right? I haven't made one of these videos in a minute and I've been slacking. I had all these plans mapped out. I was gonna go Invincible, Free Rin. I had a Bleach one in the vault. I had the audio cut up and everything and I just dropped it. I don't even know what's going on with me. This season had a lot of felonies, disappointment, sadness, many words encompassed this season. And I don't even know if I could bring myself to speak about all of it, but I'm gonna try. If you haven't seen JJK season 2, which I doubt at this point, there will be spoilers in this video. And let's just get this shit started. And I remember back in August, I remember watching these episodes week in and week out, and I didn't even know what the fuck to expect because everyone was hyping this shit up. And the way it was starting, it was very tame. In that first episode, we had Itadori trust in the process. He basically pre-ordered this woman. It's always the opposite. The popular girls back in high school, they're popping, whatever. You see them 5 years later, and you're wondering to yourself, why do they have 2 children in their hands? It's those nerdy ones, the quote-unquote ugly ones back in the time, but then you really get to know them a couple years after high school, and you're like, damn, these are the gems I was missing out all along. And then we also had a little ping pong tournament between Toto and Sway Sway. Now let me get started on her. Granted, she should be locked up for 20 plus. She's a very mysterious woman, I'd like to say. She does make me smile. She puts a smile on my face. But I feel like if I was in this world with her, it would be quite the opposite. Like if I knew Mei was in the area and I walked out of my house at nighttime, I would look both ways. Because I know she could sneak up on me and then do some damage. But I know she was slinging that fucking ping pong ball with everything she had in her. And don't let me be on the other side of that table because I'm leaping over that fucking net. I could talk about this all day, just the ping pong match. One good thing we did get from that little match was an iconic meme. That shit's been circulating ever since the day it dropped, and it's been a funny one. With this first episode, we caught a glimpse into the mole Mechamaru, quote unquote. Now, I didn't expect Mechamaru to be as much of an animal that he became to be. Because I'm gonna be honest, out of like all the Kyoto students and out of all the characters that were first introduced in season 1, Mechamaru was lower on my list. Even though like when he was fighting with Panda, the shit was cool, I just didn't really like him. And I don't know if Miwa saw him in his human state, but I mean, you've got to give him the respect where it's due because he's walking around in a pseudo-Udo costume and he's still spitting game. This is the definition of game because it's not like his robot's cool looking, sure, but it's like this is straight verbal with him and Miwa, and she's still falling for the man, so I gotta give him credit where it's due. And I'm not gonna lie, he's kind of sick, like being in a bathtub, being all crippled, and he's still conspiring with Mahito and Geto for the time being. Y'all said you wouldn't lay a hand on the Kyoto students, and look where the fuck we're at now. You told me you'll fix my shit up, so line my ass up, nigga, and give me this fresh tape. I don't know who the fuck you think you're talking to, bathtub boy. Hey, yo, Mahito, stop playing with the kid. You struck a deal. That shit fell through on your part. All right, so do what you said you got to do. I keep forgetting your ass is like 3 weeks old. This is the real world here. And I'm not going to lie to you. Once he turned him into a real boy, I saw exactly what Miwa saw in him because he was hot. You already knew it was going to be trouble. As soon as he got resurrected, he was doing the shoulder roll right out of the bathtub. A lot of the fights this season were on site instantaneously. And I'm not going to lie, as this fight progressed, it really made me like see how strong this nigga is. Mechamaru. And I never anticipated him to be this fucking strong because he was bringing out Neon Genesis fucking mechs. After I talk about every fight, since there are so many, I'll give them all a rating, like individually as this video progresses. I know Mechamaru wasn't really 1v2 in. I would say he was 1v1.5 in. I think Mechamaru, like against anyone else though, is probably washing them in this state. Because out of all the Kyoto students especially, he might even be, I think he might be stronger than Toto. Realistically, looking back, it was so dirty because they were fighting whatever, and then Mahito popped that domain, and when he thought Mechamaru was like immobilized and done, and that nigga flicked him off and stuck that shit right through his chest, and he oh my gosh, it was so good. That shit was so fucking nasty. And from what I've seen, this was a fight based off of I think a Gurren Lagann fight. I'm pretty sure there were a lot of elements of it that were very similar. I saw people kind of hating on the fact that a lot of the fights from the show were like the same from other live action series and from other anime. And I think it's just paying homage. I think it's more so cool than like lazy. And I love how Mechamaru was talking during this fight about how he was going to save everyone and he's only showing images of Miwa. And that's what love can do to you. It can make you blind. Am I doing the same thing as him? Absolutely. I'm not afraid to admit it. Once I had my eyes set on the prize, I'm sorry. And it was kind of sad when Miwa was kind of confessing her love to him and he was like kind of dying at the same time simultaneously. I was very upset because it's like he finally got the girl. I mean, he had her secured, but like I'm sure he wanted to use that body in ways he never even could imagine. So his fight with Mahito, all in all, It was visually very appealing, like especially once that domain was popped and everything after that looked even better. I would give that fight like an 8.5. For the first fight of the season, I think it was very solid and an unexpected one for me. I didn't expect it to start that way. And then right after that is when everything sort of started to start. And we're introduced to a very iconic nigga. I didn't expect this man to be as much of an icon as he was. He might be the strongest individual on the grounds of Shibuya. I promise you, Shiesty Sorcerer. We'll talk about it. There were a couple characters that were like introduced throughout this whole arc that I really didn't even know like how dirty they were. Like Kusakabe, chill ass nigga. I just really like his character and the way he like kind of carries himself. And then Naobito, I think is his name, the Zenin guy too. He was very cool. Yeah, and then of course we're introduced to the heathen himself, Weeby. You know, I'm not really a fan of his antics. You take after your older sibling. I just don't like the way she looks at him. That's a devious ass look in her eyes and I don't like it. Like it's always like she's got something on her mind sexually, plotting something. And I'm not saying that's directed at Weeby. I'm saying more so like in general, you know, because when you have hips like that, you have to use them. And we'll get into the hips, absolutely. That's just, if there's like a top 3 highlight tape of this season, the hip sway, that moment is something we cannot skip over. And it wasn't even that bad of a scuffle. When Itadori pulled up on the mutated praying mantis from Kung Fu Panda, I think there was just a lot of ghosting done with this fight, so it didn't really even get the shine. It was probably the worst fight of the bunch in terms of the choreography, but there was just a lot of unnecessary dialogue, I felt like. And Itadori, we did catch a glimpse into like what he was going to be doing though, on a very small scale. And he was giving him some mean JoJo-esque combos. He was looking a bit demonic too. The end of episode 3, I would say, is where the Shibuya incident actually started. Damn, it seems like I'm in the presence of 3 fraud ass niggas. Fraud, you say? Would a fraud kill a bunch of innocent civilians? Stand back, shawty. I know you want my number. You could get that shit later. Period blood manipulation. Yeah, so everyone's just blitzing the fuck out of him. And he's sitting here pondering to himself. Gojo, see, this is why this is not even fair. Gojo, if you don't make a move now, everyone here is dead. Don't you understand that? This shit is hilarious. What is it? What is so funny? I'm saying this shit is funny that you think I care about the well-being of the people. Alright, this shit was not in the script. What the fuck is going on? And you already knew shit was getting serious once the next episode started off with everyone talking about how crack Gojo is. Once we had niggas like Itadori talking about, yeah, no, I love Sensei. You know, without him, I would be dead. Dead as hell. And then they gave us him panting like he just got done with round 2 with Mei. That's how I would be, at least, because I think me and Mei we would be able to handle 1 round and I would be okay. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, he had the girls fawning over him for this scene though. All I know is that he was talking reckless amounts of shit, and I don't know why he singled Hanami out first. Me personally, I'm going for Jogo. What's this, the 3rd or 4th time we met, right? It's crazy that your dumbass still underestimates me with those fucking branches erecting out of your eye sockets. Those shits are grabbable as hell, I'm not gonna lie. Fuck you looking at? Weren't you the one that said not to run? Please swing on me. Yeah, and Gojo started violating them. Fucking them. That's exactly what was going on, especially Hanami. You gotta feel bad, because when I'm looking at this show season 1 and seeing the damage that Hanami is doing to Todo and Itadori, even though they're jumping her, you know, Hanami seemed like a threat. So then seeing Gojo do what he was doing right now, even though he's miles ahead of the competition, it was just so disrespectful. But this whole Shibuya train scene with Gojo, aside from hidden inventory, was really showing, I think, a glimpse of like the potential that we could have gotten with the animation. Yeah, and once this nigga started smiling like this is becoming a normal fucking occurrence for this psycho. He was on some shit like this with Toji too. He just loves beating niggas' asses. Hanami! That nigga's on crack! Run! He started cartwheeling with the air molecules to get to this nigga and grab her handlebars. It just fucking rips out. This is basically her intestines. And Jogo's doing what he can. You know, he tries sneaking Gojo when Chozo tries doing what he has to do. Jogo, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know what you boys are up to, but it's doing absolutely nothing for me and my mental. I could assure you that you could kill everyone in this train station right now. I don't give a fuck. But you know just as well as I that this piece of cauliflower behind me has no chance, right? So should I just end this right now? Is that what you like? Gojo, look! I'll blast these niggas right now! Hanami? Next up. Yeah, and see, obviously going into this season, right, I feel like most people who at least are on the internet knew that Gojo was getting sealed. Like, it's annoying looking at him do the damage he's doing right now and being like, damn, he could have easily ended this show within the next 5 episodes if he didn't get sealed up. But no, after that whole fiasco, they tried synergizing to like handle him. When Mahito pulled up in Chozo and they were all like doing all their moves, taking out people, trying to discombobulate Gojo, thinking that he's not gonna pop a domain. And Jogo swore he was cold when he tried sneaking him again and then intentionally had his arm pulled off. Look at that fucking smirk. I still think that this scene is probably top 3 in the season. You could tell like he was just locked the fuck in. There's no possible way on this earth that Satoru is gonna pop his domain right now, because he would be a mass murderer. He's a bitch. He's the definition of a bitch. Ryoriki Tenkai. Infinite bitches. Yeah, and I think him doing this gave these people everlasting brain damage. And when I was watching this shit and then they panned to like the fast moving camera and him feral on all fucking 4s, ripping the heads off these curses, and the narrator started getting involved, I already knew it was serious. And he was so precise with that shit too. It was just so good. And I think the way to send him off, at least for the time being, I think that was the perfect way to do it, to kind of just show that he's that nigga. Prison realm. Eat that nigga. Yo, Satoru, huh? It's been a minute. Fine, you got me. Now who the fuck are you though? I'm Suguru Geto, don't you remember me? Are you the strongest because you're Gojo Satoru, or are you Gojo Satoru because you're Gojo Satoru? Don't you remember that quote by me? That's me. Yo, I don't know who the fuck you are, nigga, but you're not fooling me. You know who the fuck I am. This is why you have this elaborate scheme to capture me. Alright, so can you just spill the beans at least? If I wasn't in these shackles, I swear to God, I would punch the fuck out of you, dog. So who the fuck are you? Just tell me. Fine. I'm your worst nightmare. Yeah, this nigga's a cornball. I can jump from one body to another. I don't even know if you want this information, but I might as well let you sit with this. Geto's a grower and not a shower. And his shit is 1 inch soft, 6.5 hard, and that's all I'm gonna leave you with. Good night, Satoru. Wait, I'm getting a call. Hold on.
Itadori, listen to me when I'm talking to you right now. Loud and fucking clear. This is a dire situation. But Satoru Gojo has been sealed. And not only has he been sealed, we're getting intel now that Suguru Geto was in fact the grower, and you're gonna need to do something about this.
But like once Gojo got busy with those disaster curses and he got sealed away, then that's when like the episodes started to progressively get better and better. We had 2 little battles between Granny and her grandchildren, you know, Itadori and Megumi. They were fighting this guy, and I'm not gonna speak too much about it just because like they were cool little fight. I mean, I will talk about Shaisty's little fight though. This is the first time I'm really seeing him in action. Yeah, no, he really started working this Tokyo Revengers gang member, and we see him ink everywhere, and he's conjuring up these like spikes that have aimbot on him, and this nigga's just cold overall, ice skating around him and shit. Because Megumi and Itadori, they had like a low 7 out of 10 fight, 6.5 out of 10 fight, whatever. And then halfway through the episode, we see Granny use reanimation jutsu to bring back Toji from the fucking dead. Shiesty, he's panting a little bit, and I would be sick to my stomach too. And also with the white long sleeve, like that's just kind of cold. Just Toji can't rock any fucking fit. But that's not the point here. You have to be a different type of like gangster, I guess you could call it, to see a nigga with a shiesty on and speed blitz him and rip it off his fucking scalp. Because when you're wearing a shiesty, the streets are protecting you, and once Toji's involved, you know everyone's run the fucking side, guns or not. And then proceed to throw his shit up in the air like it's a graduation cap, and before it could even hit the ground, smack him in the face maybe about 276 times before that shit hits the fucking ground. He's not even punching him, he's just smacking the shit out of him. He's just smacking the shit out of him. There was no reason for that, because he could have ended that battle with him way faster. But I just want to also talk about the fact that Itadori, being the 16-year-old kid he is picking up a 2017 Toyota Prius and launching it at this nigga, like picking it up off the ground. That's about 3,000 pounds. He probably gives our thicker population of women experiences that they've never even fathomed of having. He's an absolute madman. He probably spins these women on his fucking finger like a basketball, launches them up into the sky, gets on his back, and has them fucking drop down on his ass like Kirby from Super Smash. And let me preface, I'm not calling anyone fat, because I know how sensitive people are. Obviously, if you have a lot of junk in the trunk, that adds like 50 to 100 on you. Let's be real, and I have no problem with that. I actually encourage it to some degree. So you know, let me put it out there. Let me put it out there. And see, this fight was nothing crazy. But I will say that end sequence when they were jumping him, like always, nothing new in this show. As the season progressed, I saw the love for Itadori coming in more and more. But everyone, not everyone, but I've seen a lot of people like dislike Itadori for some reason, because they feel like he's a bit weaker than like your typical MC at this moment in the game. But like, he's really not. Seeing Itadori charge up his fist and then hezzy the nigga, that shit was so nasty. And it's like, the way he fights is so crafty and clean, and he is like the best boxer in New Gen. So after that, we see the introduction of Sway. I'm intimidated just looking at this, because every step she's taken, my desk is shaking. I don't know what's going on right now. Yeah, but Toji launches a Shiesty Sorcerer off the top of the building, and I think he's gaining full control of the man's body now. I think this nigga came back even stronger than before, because he actually moved so fast, whoever was making the show couldn't even put a fucking sound there. That's how fast this nigga moved. No, that has to be FTL. That's actually ridiculous. And you see him, he leaves the dust and everything. No, this is like, oh my gosh. Yeah, and I remember when this episode came out, everyone was fiending for this nigga Nanami. It was actually gross, like salivating. I was one of them, because the worst enemy I think in the show was fighting Nobara, and she gets washed up a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. And it's really upsetting. Like, I think this guy's power was something where it's like, if he's close to death, then like the marks on his face, like give him another life or something like that. But he is such an annoying ass villain. But he has Nobara looking like a fool, and we see Nanami's cold ass coming in through the fucking window like a zombie from The Walking Dead. Stone cold look on his fucking face, and I really liked how they had the background moving with him. If there's one thing that this season did really well, it was just the angles. Cinematography, I really enjoyed that. But he pulls up on the guy. All right, little boy, tell me the location of your comrades, and maybe I'll let you walk away. I couldn't tell you. And then he kicks Nanami, and the nigga's a brick wall. I said, lil nigga, where the fuck are your teammates? And maybe I'll let you walk the fuck away. I don't... Yeah, Nanami got straight to working this guy. He didn't give a fuck about... I don't even think he expected an answer for real. See, the details that they really gave this nigga in this episode were very horny. You listen to me, and you listen to me good. You see the way I'm pulling your fucking hair right now? This is the same ass way I was pulling the hair of some girl I was messing with last night. Guess where the fuck she is? The emergency room. And that was just me being nice to her, nigga. And I'll give it to you bluntly. I'll dog the fuck out of you, nigga. I will take these fucking khakis off right now and I'll dog the fuck out of you. So how about you tell me where the fuck your teammates are before I get fucking dangerous? I told you, I don't know. And he thought he was gonna sneak down on me too, and Nobara came in clutch, so I appreciate her for this. God, you know I love beating ass. Like, I don't know, like, every day I've been coming closer and closer to the idea of retirement. It's niggas like you that really put a smile on my face. I'm sorry, nigga. And the fact that this man Nanami hit this goober with a Gon versus PvP punch, and I knew Nanami was strong, but I really didn't even know he was working like this. I would say this episode was really where every single episode was good from this point onward, because Mei got in a little scuffle with Geto, and at the end of that episode we see Itadori clear a whole escalator. We see Chozo wandering, and that shit was the definition of on-site. Chozo didn't even give it a second thought. He clapped those fucking hands and he launched that beam instantly. In terms of the whole season, excluding hidden inventory, the particle effects, the flickering lights, the best, if not one of the best produced episode in the whole season, and honestly the whole series. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Having the cameraman follow the fucking speck of blood and then go into Chozo's hand, and then we see his POV, and I'm gonna be honest, like, I know Itadori's an anomaly, but I know he's not moving that fast, so this nigga's aim was pretty trash. See, these are the things that I don't notice first watch. We see Itadori punch him, and you could see his soul. I'm assuming, unless this was just like a creative direction type of thing, but I'm assuming once he hits this punch, this is Chozo's soul like having like a delay. No, that's actually foreshadowing. That's crazy. Maybe that's all his double impact technique is. Nigga, am I Akutami? I have one question for you. Did my brothers leave any final words? Who, nigga? The two men that you killed, Itadori. Oh yeah, they said their other brother was like a dork or some shit. That's you? Ugh, do not. And I repeat, do not! And they were boxing, and again, this is why Itadori is the coldest fucking fighter of the show. They haven't even really squared up for real yet. He shouldn't really even be keeping up with half the people in this show, but just due to his physical attributes, if he moves in the right way, like, he can make something work. So him jumping up, baiting Chozo, and then weaving his shit back and forth, like, it's just those little things. If Itadori didn't have comms, he was probably losing this. Yeah, he's lucky he was in team chat.
Itadori, don't freak out, but you're toast. I'm just gonna keep it a thou wow.
Makamaru, what are you talking about? I'm putting a fist on this nigga. You can't even see what I'm seeing right now.
No, I'm telling you, his ability is just too much for you to handle in the current predicament we're in right now, so you gotta change location.
So what do you want me to do? Take off my shirt and get gangster on this nigga? Like I would, Mecha, I'm telling you, I could work. Like, what do you want?
So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go to the bathroom, set off the fire alarm, make that water come down, and then you could do what you do best.
Yeah, and Mekamaru was just getting straight up personal with Chozo. Because Itadori scurried away, we got this fucking nice ass shot of this, but like, again, the fucking angles.
Hey, aren't you pulling up? This shit's about to become Cho's over. Alright, you're a bitch just like your other brothers and your whole ass family. There's a reason you use fucking period blood manipulation, because you're a fucking pussy, bitch. Pull the fuck up, nigga.
Yeah, and this is where the shit started getting absolutely fucking lethal. The OST was going stupid, and they squared up for real, and it was so dirty. This like this is the type of shit as a kid you kind of like, you dream of almost. Once Chozo hit this trick shot, I thought Sukuna was gonna come out right here, to be honest. Itadori has a vital organ bleeding out right now, and he is all up in his face. Point blank range at this point, squaring up. This is a different type of square up. They're touching tips of their fingers, and it's just the anticipation with the water, and then oh my gosh, no, watching it again is so good. Chozo jabbing right, Itadori pulling back, hitting the kick. When they clash fists, but since Itadori has double tap equipped, it like still knocks him back. Oh my goodness. But this is where I almost lost my fucking mind. When he hit the splits. That shit was so fucking dirty. The way this nigga fights is just unreal to me. And him blocking his vision is so like stupid. But it's those little details that like will take a good fight to a great fight and really hype you the fuck up in the moment. Unfortunately for Itadori, Chozo just has an advantage. That's just kind of, it's broken. It is, because if he didn't have that blood armor shit going on, his liver was out of there too. And he just tanked it and then clocked him into the fucking wall. This was a really like pivotal part in the season for me, because it had me speculating some shit with my friends about what the fuck was going on here. But it also birthed a new meme format as well. This was a good meme. Chozo tweaking out. Yeah, and once he gets that like imagery in his head of Itadori and his brothers eating, I'm thinking that Itadori like had some innate domain expansion, and that like it was some shit where you could like alter memories. Yeah, and I would give Chozo Itadori, I would give that a 9. Before we get any more progression with Itadori and Sukuna, we got a little Mei and Wee fight against some demon. I forgot what this demon did, but they were operating like D-Wade and LeBron against this guy, and it was a cool little scene too. Man, what a fucking episode this was. I remember the week this one came out, with Maki, Nanami, and the other Zenin dude pulling up on Dagon. The Zenin dude, you just, like, his power was so solid, and he was really working Dagon. Honestly, no domain expansion, Dagon was getting beat the fuck up. And they were jumping him. I can't deny that. Has there even been a 3-person jump at the show yet? No, this ended up being like a 5-man jumping. I mean, look at this fucking angle. Like, what are you doing against this, actually? But he opened up his domain and took their ass straight to Miami Beach. And I'm surprised I didn't see any Latinas, BBLs, or anything, because I know Dagon's a freak. Because why else would he need to be gaining that muscle in the arms? And I did really like the vibrancy of this fight, and just like the pacing of it too. And he's pelting them with sea life. But then Megumi infiltrates, and I'm not gonna lie, he's been doing better. Again, the cinematography and just the water particles, and when Megumi is fighting against Dagon's domain and is getting the fish thrown at him, and then Nanami saves him basically on his last fucking legs. He was looking hotter than ever. I'm not. Mappa was really on his shit. Nanami called for them on like some Irwin shit. And seeing this nigga Toji, still to this day, looking at this nigga pop through this hole, I do not know why the fuck he was this happy. Literally on some Gojo shit. I don't know if this was supposed to be a parallel to when Gojo did the Honored One pose and like he was like tweaking out, but he's dead ass just happy to be alive again for the sole purpose of fighting. And I'm gonna keep it real with you. Watching this over for a second time, I don't think there was a more disrespectful dismantling of a fucking enemy. And I was saying Chozo's on site, but Toji is the same exact type of person, because he came in here with a smile on his face, a turtleneck from Banana Republic, some Adidas NMDs, and some Dickies work pants, robbed Maki of her cursed tool, stepped into the water with Cthulhu himself, and then parted the shit like the fucking Red Sea. And this nigga starts running on the water like Dash from The Incredibles, that one scene. I think I said it in the reaction. And he's just comboing him. Yeah, no, and he's yeah, this is getting out of hand, man. He caught the fish in his mouth. I'm thinking he's gonna take a chunk out of it, maybe get some nutrients from it or some shit. He tongues the fish on some horny ass shit. And Toji's one of the few characters in the show that can make a one-on-one more difficult than a 4-man jumping. Like, he has everyone else watching on the sidelines like this is UFC 299, the main event or something. He's taking the nunchucks, whatever this weaponry is, and sharpening the tool. This is evil work. And I don't know who Naobito is to Toji. Like, I don't know if he's his dad, grandpa, or something. But seeing him tag team with him briefly, that was nice. And this is the type of shit I'm talking about with these JoJo type of beatdowns from Toji. Not only did he smack the fuck out of Shiesty, he broke the cursed tool, and he'd even rapidly stab him. He stabbed him twice and then took the dull end of it and just brutalized this nigga like it was a police baton. And I would give that whole interaction, because I would say that was one fight in itself. Like Dagon versus Company. If I'm ranking the whole thing together, I'd give it like an 8. But if I'm ranking it with Toji and Toji alone, that's like a 9. Whole fight in itself, probably like an 8, 8.5. Yeah, and that nigga Joe Goat was hiding on the sidelines because he's already been exposed. He gotta feel bad for him. He has faced the two strongest niggas in the show back to back. You can't really measure his strength off of his battles because he hasn't had a real one. Hey, who the fuck is this one-eyed freak? What the fuck? Yeah, this might be the end for me. I can't do this shit anymore, dog. I'm damn near like LeBron, nigga. I just gotta retire. We'll meet each other again in another life. But right now it's starting to look like a barbecue, so let me sear these niggas. Medium rare. No! Well done. Medium well. This was embarrassing. And now granted, they were all operating at like 40% strength, but once I saw Nanami get his top half blasted off, I thought he was done in that moment. Same thing with Maki, but with the frames per second guy, I know he was weak and all, but Jogo didn't even bat an eye to his ability. But yeah, so then we pan over to the girls and they're fingering this nigga, and they end up feeding him like 15 of those things. Again, just the detail and how they do speed in this show. Nigga, I'm giving you 1 second. Get your fucking paws off of me. And he had Jogo's volcano erupting. Okay, I'll start with you two. You said you wanted to speak to me. What is it you want? Below us, on the next floor down, there's a guy, and he has a scar on his forehead, and we just beg of you, please, kill him. Please. Gals, raise those fucking craniums up and hold them high. Wrong. Do y'all really think I'm taking requests from two girls who haven't even gotten their high school diploma yet? GED, bachelor's degree, associates, nothing? I'm a man of education, and I'm a man of authority, and I'm not taking requests like this. And she tried flicking him up too. He was looking absolutely dashing in this picture. Look, this is Instagram worthy. But he jacked her phone, and you'll see niggas getting robbed like this for an iPhone fucking 11 in this same fashion. All right, next. Krakatoa, what is it that you want from me? You want me to be honest? Let me have it. Currently, you're not even really free like that. So we're trying to really resurrect you for real. We just need you to forge a pact with Itadori to give you temporary control over his body in this time that we need it. Not a chance. You know, I'll tell you one thing. You square the fuck up with me right now and land one finger on me, and I'll do whatever the fuck you want me to do, Krakatoa. Pardon? I said run your fucking pockets. All right, you know what? Newsflash, pal. And I didn't know you could pack so much action into a season of anime. Like, I don't think there's going to be another season of a shonen action-based anime like this, at least anytime soon. And before Sukuna starts going off on Jogo, I don't know how the fuck Megumi does not know this is his father. That's one part that really irritates me about this whole ordeal. I don't know, man. I hope the series ends with him at least knowing that he fought his dad. But I will say, once him and Megumi started fucking fighting, this may have been the best choreographed scene I've seen in the fucking show. Megumi spawning in the rabbits from ReZero Season 2, throwing a 10-piece with barbecue sauce, and Toji blocking that shit with one hand, and these rabbits are on some like G-force type of shit trying to jump him, and he's killing them with their own brethren. Like, these moves are so unnecessary and annoying at this point to look at. When he throws up his nunchuck, makes a crater in the ground, launching each piece of debris individually at each and every rabbit. And we're also introduced to Kusakabe and Panda again for the first time. I don't remember if Kusakabe was even in the last season, but I really do like his character. And then we see me and my girlfriend just chilling on the top on a little date, sightseeing. And I swear this nigga does look like me. I don't care, like, I should cosplay as him. But going back to Megumi and Toji, like the purple lightning from his bird creature when Toji's sitting here looking up to the gods, and Megumi was getting crafty with him in the alleyway, pulling out his knife like this shit was lemon, and he actually had him beat for a second. And now granted, Toji's just trying to have a nice moment, and then, you know, Megumi's doing Megumi things, and he's got his gang signs already unlocked. So he gets snuck by Nanami's bitch. And see, this is when the animation style started switching up to this very, very, very minimalistic, like, type of look. And then this was the start of Sukuna versus Jogo. And we just hear Sukuna maniacally laughing. He jump scared me a couple times, and he's just dismantling Jogo. The cameraman was really doing his fucking shit. This is one of his best works. And I'm not gonna lie, one of the hardest scenes from this fight was when he picked up the two buildings with like molten lava hands. And like the line work when he's screaming on it, it like looks very fan animation, but like so intense at the same time. Everything about it just, and then the fucking shot of Sukuna after the dismantle, and then just disappearing out of thin air. No, like, this shit was crazy. What a beautiful night it is tonight. This shit really is a beatdown. I thought there would have been a bit more of a challenge. Yeah, no, I'm cooked, nigga. I'm cooked. I'm fucking cooked. Come on, man. Try harder. You got this. Really, you do. This is a fun-ass game. When's the DLC dropping? Panda, I'm not gonna lie to you. This shit's not looking good. We've got to get the fuck out of here. And then Jogo is pulling a meteor in from fucking space. Sukuna's hitting this shadow-esque type of skating. It's just so hard. Panda, let's bounce, nigga. Negative. I've been sealed away for a minute. I think you guys know this, and if you move, I'm just letting you know you're dead. So just let me finish my little spiel, please. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even have anything against you fools. I just want to tour with you niggas for no reason. I have the itch to instigate some shit, you know what I'm saying? I just have the itch right now, and I'm so amped. I'm so amped to be just like doing this shit, man. So with this meteor dropping down on us, you can move, but when I say so. So if you want any shot at surviving, you're gonna wait till I clap my fucking hands together. Ready? Ready, go. No. Hey, Till, I saw you about to move, Till. You almost got your head sliced off right there. You better wait a fucking second. I know it's scary. I'm scared too. I'm scared with excitement. And break. Yeah, no, Sukuna's just a top tier instigator. Hall of Fame, actually. And when they're sitting on the meteor and the glass is turned to like molten lava in midair and all that, and Sukuna pulls out his little flame arrow. I still don't know how he has that, by the way. And Jogo procs his shit up. Very movie-like, and it was beautiful. Yeah, boys, I'm sorry, I failed. That nigga cooked the fuck out of me. I mean, we still got Mahito, though. Let me face it, man. We're trash. We really are. We are trash. And it's like, we've done so much, but we've done so little as well. Like, this has just been embarrassing, but at least, like, I'm that nigga. Kind of. You know, it's like, I really am. What? You're that nigga? No, like, I get what you mean. Like, without me being around, of course. But, like, be real with yourself, Jogo. Got what you're saying, right? And I don't need to give you a history lesson on me. You know me. When you look up the definition of nigga, synonymous with the king of curses. You know, and this is just what I do. But I'm not trying to make an embarrassment out of you, Krakatoa. Because I know you got your boys with you. And I just want to let y'all know, your boy put up a valiant effort against me and I had a good time. I can't sit here and say I wasn't, like, half chub. Be proud, Jogo. You're something. You know, I'm not gonna say strong, but you're something. What a good meme, man. And Jogo versus Sukuna, top tier, damn near 10 out of 10. Might be, I don't know, but we're taking back to the maniac himself, Megami. But out of all of his summons, I feel like this was the most reasonable time. I want to see niggas hurt. I don't give a fuck who at this point, and I'm gonna hit this shit right this time. Hey Blondie, I just want you to know right now, I really could have taken you out myself, but fuck it, I just want to see this shit inflame. And I forgot to inform you what my actual curse technique is. Cataclysmic crash out. Peace, little nigga. What the fuck? What the fuck? Yeah, and we see Sukuna save our #1 fraud, and I was upset, but I mean, we got retribution later. So seeing Sukuna square up with Mahoraga was good. And man, like the grayness of the arena, it has a nice like crispness to it. And seeing Mahoraga just grab him and scale the building and launch him. Yeah, and call Gabrielle Union right the fuck now. Cause she got dethroned. Give this nigga a gold medal. 15 back handsprings vertically up a skyscraper. And this shit was just so hard because this was a battle of two niggas that just love to fucking fight. And seeing them trade blows as the building is fucking getting sliced in half, nigga, it's so good. And like the aura of Mahoraga, and I'm not saying that in like the new school way. I'm saying it like physically, like the glow of him when like there's smoke and then you see his arm kind of come out of the shadows. And as the fight's progressing, Sukuna's getting a little bit like he's questioning what the fuck is going on. Yeah, and you really gotta feel bad for these civilians because I couldn't imagine going to Shibuya 31st of October in like my One Piece hat. I'm chilling, enjoying my time. First, somehow there are two big magma hands picking up the H&M building and the Wells Fargo with some random ass nigga dicing it into pieces. So that would be my first concern. My second concern would then be, why is it happening again with a different nigga within a span of 30 seconds? You could tell it was getting a bit choppy once they got like to the middle portion of the episode when Mahoraga was throwing trains and like they were changing like POVs and everything, and you could just see the fucking potential, man. That's fuck is getting me aggravated watching it. You can see that shit, can't you? You can see my technique, nigga! We get a brief POV of Mahoraga. That nigga got set light speed, I don't know where he went. But then he ate the invincible star from Mario and he comes out here on some rainbow shit. And it's like the minimalistic aspect of this fight is really what makes it like a level above. And if there was just a little bit more detail and a little bit more like direction in terms of like understanding what the fuck is going on, because even just this, right? Seeing Sukuna sit on this light post is such a cold shot. Like, I don't think niggas understand how fucking cold this shit is. And him being on the billboard, and then the environment going red. Oh my gosh, no. It's actually, it was like an EDC festival. The OST was like the embodiment of Sukuna. And I couldn't tell if Mahoraga was smiling here, but if he was, he's a fucking felon. And then seeing Sukuna smile right back. And again, how this shit was orchestrated with the narrator, showing that everyone was about to be meat chunks. Like, I really don't know what it takes for animation, right? But all I know is that this scene of Mahoraga walking through these fucking slashes, as smooth as it was looking, and the smoothness of the Sukuna visuals and his expressions, oh my gosh. And then after that, I guess he fucking got him. Might I ask what the fuck you're looking at, little nigga? Scram. Well, I'll be on my way then. Let's fucking go, baby. I've escaped once again, and I'm glad he got the fuck out of there. I'm not happy for things like that. I'm not happy for such negative outcomes, except for this guy. There are a lot of villains who are villainous, right? And as I was saying, the reasons why Sukuna does what the fuck he does, he enjoys it, and he just enjoys being what he is, which is a curse. People like Aizen, they have their reasons. People like Madara, they have their reasons, which ultimately a lot of the time in their head leads to world peace. Sukuna, if this cycle was continuing for decades, millennium to come, and he was alive for all of it, he would enjoy every second of it, just killing people and causing mayhem in whichever new ways he could. Fraudadori, enjoy this outcome. Savor it, because I sure as hell did. Sakuna's a bitch. Maharaka's a bitch. Nigga, I'm a bitch. Fuck. Fuck. You are my special. People were really hating on the fact that they were playing the fucking opening. I thought that shit played really well into the maniac Sukuna was, like him enjoying the moment and me enjoying the moment as this shit was played, because they know I love my song. Best opening in the show, #1. And then the ending, both the endings were top tier. So I'm just gonna get that out the way. Yeah, and Itadori staring at us like we did it, that was scaring me. But it really like goes to show how good his character is. Even in the manga, like people still call Itadori a fraud. And I think his character is one of the best MCs in the game. Now granted, I don't watch a lot of shows. And after we see the start of Itadori's villain arc, we see that Nanami has survived. And it does. It just keeps getting worse, honestly. And again, the cinematography. When Nanami pulls up on the whole roster of curses in Shibuya. You know what? Yeah, I'm done. I can't do this shit anymore, dog. I would really love to go to Malaysia. But for some reason, I have the whole cast of Where the Wild Things Are looking at me right now, man. I cannot do this shit anymore. I'm really tired. But fuck it. One last dance. The OST that they had playing as he's beating them up and getting beat up, but then transition into him in Malaysia having a good time, and this is like all going on in his head. It's just such a beautiful scene, man. It really is. And then he got snuck. There was nothing that Nanami could do. Mahito's a freak, man. So you got me. I'm always here. So what are your last words? I know me and you went on a couple dates, but I mean, it's always been fun. I know this isn't really the way you wanted to go out, but like, did you have anything you wanted to say to me? Specifically, like our relationship status? Like, what the fuck is Scarface talking about? Actually, what the hell is he talking about? Oh, Nanami. I don't know what Mahito's saying, but I gotta tell him. Yeah, I'ma tell him. Itadori, whatever you just heard this nigga say, I did not. What the fuck? My sensei would never do some whack ass shit like that with you, Mahito! Hey, can you shut the fuck up, because I can hear your dumbass. Itadori Yuji! Man, I hit that shit so I hit that. Out of all the fights in the show, in terms of like individual characters and what they stand for and what they like mean to the story, at least in this arc, I would say that this was the best one in that regard. Itadori and Mahito are like damn near polar opposites, but the same as well. And obviously like they dive a bit more into that theme with the I'm you shit. And just as the battle develops, you could see the development in Itadori's character when like Mahito's trolling the nigga and then he's pulling out like Junpei, and you could just see him progressively getting more and more like upset. And Itadori showcased some of his best ass beating with this Mahito fight. He was putting some fucking moves on Chozo, and he was working him good too, but he was like really working Mahito. He's really just a crafty ass nigga. And when they're like squaring up and they're walking in this little alleyway, then somehow he still manages to flash step away from Mahito and clock him in his face. And I'm gonna keep sucking his shit this whole video because I really don't care. I think Itadori is the cleanest fucking fighter in all of New Gen. I don't care. After that, we transitioned to Nobara. I guess maybe fighting that one scrub made her like think to herself like, why am I such a fraud? And she actually decides to step it up a bit. And obviously you find out that he is like a clone, but seeing them both simultaneously give him a fucking ass whooping was a very satisfying like back and forth. But no, actually, once Itadori figures out that Nobara is fighting Mahito on the other end, when he sees his soul erupt or whatever the fuck he saw, and the Espada type beat that they were playing for the OST, and Itadori beating ass with the stance switch? No. How many pieces was this? 1, stance switch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, he got a family nugget meal. Oh my god, chicken. This was the nastiest combo in all of Jujutsu Kaisen. It has to be. No, he's like, I'm rewatching this right now. It's just like bringing me back to when I reacted to it the first time. He's getting so technical with it. Fucking him. And then you think it's done until you realize we're buying nugget meals for 2 families. Because after he gives him the Rob Lucci special and then Itadori puts that fucking smile on his face, he starts comboing his ass up again. Itadori and Nobara's synergy is probably top 3 in the show. One of the best female protagonists in a New Gen show because she actually like means something to the story. Killing her off I think was like a good idea in terms of narrative, right? Because it doesn't take the typical approach where it's like everyone stays alive. She could have been a top fucking 10 in the show. And Mahito flees the scene. I didn't expect the outcome of what was going to go on. But like, again, everything in terms of the cinematography and how like they keep you on your toes throughout this season was what really like had me enjoying it as much as I did. And I think everyone and their mother thought he was about to merge into one, but seeing them run past each other, I actually had my stomach drop. And I already knew the outcome because there were a lot of things in the show that I got spoiled for, and Nobara getting her head blasted off was one of them. And I knew it was game for her once we got a 10 minute flashback of her life and her childhood best friend. That was damn near the whole episode and it was done. I knew it. Itadori, tell everyone this for me. I had a great life, and after all this was said and done, I wanted to give you a piece of this. I was ready to throw that shit back onto you. I was. But I mean, not everything in this life goes as planned, but just know I had fun. Did this nigga Mahito just prevent me from getting some ass? Did this nigga Mahito just prevent me from getting some ass? It's like, in terms of villains, Mahito, I don't like him, but he's a damn good fucking villain. See that nigga see Itadori in distress and peril and break him in the way he wanted to break him. And he got blessed by the spirits, the Black Flash, and blitzed the nigga. You are me, Itadori Yuji. I fuck niggas up without thinking, just like how you save people without thinking. Isn't that such a beautiful thing? How could you possibly think of defeating me without knowing that? Not only did I blast your sensei in half, but I stopped you from getting play. I stopped you from getting play. And now I get to play. And I'm gonna play all day long. And I'm gonna keep going and going and going, and I'm never stopping. Yeah, and Toto came out of this bitch like on some WrestleMania WWE really, entrance type of shit. And seeing Mahito try to ruin the moment with the straightest face, and him and Mahito start boxing it out. And when he clapped and Itadori was charging that shit up, nigga. Oh my gosh. Toto and Itadori or Nobara and Itadori? I don't even know which one's better. It's a different type of like chemistry. No, I mean, I have to go Toto. That's not even a question. I don't even know why I'm asking that question. And then Itadori hitting that Black Flash right fucking back. And before we see another Jujutsu jumping, we got taken to the train. This was a sad little scene. And Mechamaru was kind of talking shit about his peers, but I mean, that's what you gotta do in a dire situation sometimes. Why'd you only tell Toto and Nita to go?
Girl, I'm gonna be honest, based off of my judgment, Toto's chance of survival is like about 99%. And everyone else in our class, as a collective, their chances are still under 1%. And I'm not even hating. I know a lot of them may interpret it that way, but it's just like grind. You know what I mean? But I'm not even including you in this Miwa because you really taught me a thing or two about that simple domain shit.
So then why couldn't I go?
Don't do that to me.
So then why didn't you talk to me about it? Why didn't you just inform me? Aren't we friends?
First off, take that shit back. You know we're not friends. Don't friend zone me as I'm on my dying breath right now. Please, God, don't do that.
Is it because I'm weak? Am I just weak?
You know you're not weak either. I'm the weak one. And I'ma spit some shit really quick for you. There was this girl I liked, and she had blue hair. And I was made of wood, and she did not care. Oh, and she looked at me. She saw the real me. And then I asked that girl right here if we could be for eternity. But I know that cannot happen. because this is my last message. But I wish one day, we would marry to perfection. Girl, you're muffling me. You gotta listen to the lyrics side. You're not gonna be able to hear me. Put me back. And I know that she wields a sword, but she can't see me anymore. Oh damn girl, you are so thick. So thick that it makes me sick. And now I'm about to go and rap. Just kidding, I'ma sing, that's facts. That girl is sitting on a train. I wanted her to scream my name. Yeah. And she wanted me right next to her. I wanted her right next to me. Meanwhile, I think this is it. I think it's time for me to leave.
No, you can't.
Meanwhile,
you have to be happy. No matter what you do, stand proud. You're strong. And with that being said, Mecha out. Oh, what a scene. Really am surprised how much I like his character, because not only is he a strong ass nigga, he's a sexy ass nigga, and he's a respectful ass nigga. SSR, sustained silent reading. What do you know about that? But no, so then after that, we see Toto clap his booty cheeks, and one of the nastiest sequences in the show. And this was some shit like when you just lock in with your boy on like just any game that you duo for. And then seeing how fast Itadori threw this rock, you have to understand, for this shit to catch fire, he was throwing this like at light speed, actually. But then the OST, and then Toto traveling through space and time. This nigga actually acquired All for One, or One for All, whichever one, I don't even know which one it is, and hit Mahito at Manchester Smash. That was one of the craziest action sequences in the show. And the fact that Mahito tanked it really like upset me, because it definitely took away from like how good of a fucking move it was. But it didn't matter because we did get the panel at the end, and Mahito started tweaking the fuck out. Again, as I'm going through these episodes, I don't think we're getting a season of a show like this ever again. So they were boxing a bit for the first like 10 minutes of that episode, and then seeing Mahito just adapt and grow as this fight is developing, seeing him pop the 0.2 second domain expansion just off of like the eye test with Gojo, and him just talking about taking a gamble. Yeah, and Mahito might be best friend in the show for talking this shit to Sukuna. I've been waiting for this shit for so long, dog. Listen, from our last encounter, you're a bitch. You're a bitch, and guess what? I'm gonna kill this brat. I'm just gonna throw your ass out like trash as well. And the fact that Mahito opened a domain just to talk shit, you have to commend that. Mahito was putting on a fucking clinic. He was locked in. This nigga Toto awakened his stand and collapsed Mahito's hand, and Itadori comes in flying with the right hook. And that right hook happened to be a black flash. And Toto's out here dying, and then this shit becomes a one-on-one. So that's how I know it was getting serious. And Mahito transformed into an Elden Ring boss, and then they square the fuck up for one last time. And the fact that Itadori was like placeboing himself into thinking he could release a black flash consciously was some of the hardest shit fucking ever. And them just working each other and adapting and dodging and ducking. And when Toto did the ultimate cap, this nigga's MVP. And I thought he was being serious, so then I was like, damn, his ability is even stronger than I thought. But his real ability is just his charisma. Cursed spirit, the clap isn't the clap of my wrist. The real clap, it's a clap of souls. Fuck! Wait, where's this nigga? Unfortunately for you, my boogie woogie is dead, and I'm capping out of my ass. And then Itadori threw the best black flash we've ever seen in the show, and he put everything into that. That was the blackest. And this is where Adele really shined. This is how she has a career. I'ma be real, Mahito. I am you. You're right. I didn't want to agree with what you said. Why would I want to affiliate myself with someone as bogus as yourself? But now it's a little bit different. It really is. Because now I just want to kill you. And if you're born as a new curse, just guess what I'm gonna do. I'm not even gonna let you answer. I'm killing the fuck out of that nigga too. Even if you change your look, change your identity, once you lay your head to rest that night, there'll be a fist coming out of your fucking bed sheets. And I'm gonna kill that nigga too. And I'm gonna keep doing it over and over again. And I don't know what you curses do. I don't know if you get a wife and kids, but I'm gonna let you procreate, and I'm gonna let you have your little kid in a different life. And you know what I'm gonna do to you. Guess what I'm gonna do to everyone you're affiliated with. I'll give you a hint. I'm not letting them live. I assure you that much. And it's like the artistry behind this and just a message. That's why I think even up until now, like reading the manga, obviously everyone in their family knows that Gojo and Sukuna are fighting. I would say that's the only like relatable parallel in comparison in terms of like background of a character, if that makes sense, right? Because obviously Sukuna is the strongest sorcerer in history, Gojo is the strongest sorcerer of today, and it's like they have their different reasons for why they do things and how they develop their powers and do whatever. But with Mahito and Itadori, I feel like this is still the deepest villain to hero relationship that we get in terms of how they developed throughout the fight. Itadori was his complete opposite, but at the same time, as he said, the same. It really was deep, and I think a lot deeper than people like give it credit for, because I feel like a lot of people view Jujutsu Kaisen as a very surface level show. And Geto pulled up and he just eats that nigga. Now I'm gonna veer off course for a second. First off, Mei Mei is looking like she's a forex trader of some sorts and a scammer, because she really just takes advantage of Weewee's ability, but I'm not gonna get into that. I don't think that her being butt-ass naked in this bed with Weewee was the most appropriate thing to do, but I can't say I wouldn't be in this same ass position as Weewee if I was being talked to like this by Mei Mei. My hands would be up here like this and I would be plushing. And this looks like an Alaskan king-size bed, and we would use every inch of it. Do not get it do not get it twisted. And that obtuse angle of a couch, every inch of that too. And then once Geto pulls up, everything starts falling apart. Kyoto students pull up like they're about to initiate a jumping. And this was the sorriest jumping in the show. Miwa was on a fucking mission. You could see it in her eyes with this new shadow style, one-shot ability technique. I don't know what consists of a binding vow, but if I'm swinging this sword, knowing how powerful I am in Miwa's shoes, I'm saying take away my sword, take away some family members, take away my ability to reproduce. Her binding away the fact that she cannot swing a sword no more, I don't think that changes the landscape of the world and the world to come, because I assure you one sword swing from Miwa is not affecting the outcome of anything. She had to sacrifice a lot more. I would have been like, sacrifice some of my teammates at least. Let me draw blood from this nigga. Because this sword grab was more disrespectful than Aizen's. Yeah, no, we've have to incarcerate Geto / Kenjaku, because it was even more criminal that he released an Uzumaki on Miwa. That's how you know she had potential. See, and this nigga Kusakabe is cold. I don't know what the fuck he did, but this is why I like his ass. And Chozo pulled up all discombobulated. So you are Papa. Norotoshi Kamo! Kamo? Norotoshi? Nigga, that's me. But no, so they had Chozo looking like a top 3 in the show once he started piercing blood Urame and going after Kenjaku simultaneously. And this nigga was getting crafty. He did a behind the back piercing blood. That shit was so nasty. And then we see Hogwarts really get nasty with this shit and pull out the meanest wind scythe I've ever seen in my life. She could maybe do some damage to a whole ant colony. And then she starts talking strategy as if she's like involved in the plans right now. I don't know. Just give us air support. That's all we need right now. And then Urame starts freezing this shit up again. And then my girl. Like, okay, realistically, the show, Yuki might just be the sexiest woman in the show. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie. There's something about her presence. You know, this is, oh God. Yeah, this is special. Yuki, she doesn't even wear tight jeans. Again, I'm gonna reiterate, when a woman can wear a nice pair of jeans, whether it's skinny, baggy, or just regular fit, and make that shit look good, especially in you know where, we have an issue. And you could tell Yuki's at least 6 foot. And she's wearing them damn good, those Levi's. I don't even care about Mei Mei, nigga. If you had to give me Mei Mei, and Mei Mei has hips, and I'm sure I'm not even gonna denounce that if Mei Mei put on a pair of jeans, the denim is ripping on both sides. I'm not gonna say that's not the case. But if you give me Yuki and Mei Mei, I'm taking Mei Mei if we're going out for one night and I'm trying to maybe commit crimes and then commit some atrocious acts with her. But I'm marrying Yuki. Because she's stellar. She has Kenjaku speechless. He wants that body. That's a smile of horny. I would know, because I was smiling at my screen the same way when she pulled up. And we get an overhead shot. Yeah. See, look at this curvature. If we go down from the shoulder, obviously pass over the chest area, go to the abdominal and then back to the hips, this is like a radio wave. And I learned this back in chemistry class. There's the electromagnetic spectrum, and there's the different lengths of frequency waves. So it looks like she's teeter-tottering between microwave and radio. I could really break this down into many different pieces, but the video is already too long as it is. So maybe I could just make that a whole 45 to an hour video in itself, just on Yuki. Because we also have to keep in mind, again, 6 feet, me and her would take over the fucking league, nigga. And having read the manga, spoiling a little bit, I understand exactly what Kenjaku was going into here about waking people up and giving them the marks and all that stuff, because he was starting the culling games. So this makes a bit more sense now having read it, but obviously they leave you on a cliffhanger, so you don't really know what the fuck he's talking about. And then basically after that, Kenjaku heads out of there. Yuta pulls up, and we see him for the first time since the movie, and this nigga was in Africa getting it down. He probably knows every African dish and dance. Good shit, Okotsu. Y'all boys just get to the point. What do you have me here for? I think you know what we want you to do, because we can't really trust you yet, considering that Gojo Satoru is now a criminal. Listen, I know what y'all want. It really doesn't matter if he's Gojo's pupil, sidekick, whatever the fuck, it really doesn't matter. I'll ice that nigga Itadori Yuji myself. And then we learn that Inumaki also caught a stray. And then we see the last scene of Yuji with the nice ass scar, and season ends just like that. I think as a season, as I said earlier in the video, I don't think there will be another show that replicates this much intensity and action and consistency throughout a season for a minute, other than Jujutsu Kaisen, you know, because the next arc can probably mimic and possibly surpass the quality that we got in Shibuya. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I think if Mappa even had a little bit more time, this shit could have been even better than it ended up being, and they worked with the time that they had and made it look fucking stellar. I don't remember what I gave Vinland Saga season 2, but I really hold that and JJK season 2 hand in hand in terms of like my anime of the year last year, just because of what they provided me on like an emotional and like excited, I guess, level. You know, they gave me two different emotions, but I think I enjoyed them the same amount. And if I gave Vinland a 10, which I think I did, Vinland season 2, I would also give JJK season 2 a 10 out of 10. And no, I think actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna give it like a 9.7, 9.8, and the reason being were because there were like 2 or 3, maybe 4 episodes where it was like I didn't really enjoy them like that. Like the cricket episode was one of them. You know, that was one where I was like, I don't really enjoy that. And like the Nobara episode as well, like that whole flashback. And I know they're trying to work up to her death emotionally, but the whole 10-minute flashback, that was damn near the whole episode. And I'm just being nitpicky, I really am, but nonetheless, it was damn near a perfect season, you know, and it's gonna be hard to top this. And this is definitely a Hall of Fame tier first season of a show, no doubt, no fucking doubt. This was beautiful. If you stayed for this long in the video, I really appreciate that, because this was a long one to make, this was a long one to record, and I'm sure this was a long one to watch. So if you stayed for the end, I do appreciate that. And road to 100K, appreciate you for watching, and yeah, on to the next one.